Hi everyone and welcome to another video. This is sampling part 2, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to do layering, how to mix the sample properly, add to effects and then save it. So what we'll first do is load the sample, and the first sample I'm going to load off is one I've got and I recorded ages ago, which is one single sample. So if I go into here and I will select my sample, and it's right in the middle here. Okay, we'll load that in, and then what I'll do is I will load another sample in. So I'll go and click another drum track. I want to show you something about drum tracks and audio tracks in a minute, something to be aware of. Click on browse, and then what we'll do is we'll load a sample in that's very different, just to show you how layers work. Okay, we'll click on the little sample icon here. That's really important, so that then filters all samples, even in subfolders. Something to remember, and I'll give you an example of that. So we go to expansions. If we look in this folder, it just gives you, it's basically saying there are samples in these folders. So we go to acid house, synth loops. There you go, there's the little icon that matches that. We'll keep that one and we'll load that one in. So what you have now is we've got two different samples that are loaded. You can browse through them that way or this way. Again, different ways of doing it. You can use the rotary knob here. Okay, and what we want to do is if we're looking at samples, so let's look at this one here. Okay, what if we don't like that sample or we want to improve it? So with a better wording, actually, we want to improve that sample. If we click on the sample icon there, which is the sampler, now you can find that, in your main area here if you haven't moved it to shortcuts. Again, look at this video for shortcuts, how you can arrange your shortcuts. So click on sample, and there at the top I've got my test one. If we press pad 16, it plays it completely as a loop, or if we click on the little headphone icon there, you can choose what bit you want. If you move things together in your chop, you can actually listen to the type of sample you're trying to get. So that's the first part I wanted to explain. I want to increase the gain on this. Now, there are two ways we can do it. We can normalize it, which is just standardizing the actual sound without clipping. We can do that if we click on process, double click on that, gives us our function menu, and from here we can click on normalize, and if we click on do it, it will normalize it. Okay, now that's pretty good, but it's a little too loud. So what I want to do is bring down the gain on that, and we can do that. Again, we click on process and then double click on that. Again, you'll see the gain button. We click on that, and then if you just press in the middle there, you can actually turn it up or down. We want to turn it down by about 3 or 4 decibels, so we do that, and you see there the actual sample, the wave sample, is actually sort of quietened down a bit now. So sorry about knocking me camera. So we've done that, we're happy with that. Let's stop that. If we click on that at the top there and then move it, I in fact want to lower that down, and we can do the same with this as well. So from here I can actually process and bring that down to about 4. Brilliant. Okay, that's fine. Okay, there are different things we can do with this sample. We can chop it up, and I'll come to that in a minute. What I want to do is show you layering first. Probably best way of doing this, let me show you layering. So how do we layer the two samples? We've got that, the first one and the second one. Very easy. All we do is we go to the first one here, we double click on it, and there you'll see the sample. You can see things about the tuning of it. So we can actually change things with the sample slightly. That fine tune didn't work on that pad, but what we can do is we can layer this. So for layer 1, we've got that sample. For layer 2, we've got none, but we can select it from here, go back into memory, and then select it from there. You can hear both of them together. Now, from here, I'm not happy. I want to lower down the volume of my other sample, which is the test one, which I can do that now. Just click on it, test 3, and let's just probably bring it about another 2 decibels. So we're actually mixing the samples together, getting the right sort of level of what you want, okay? And yeah, that's fine. And if we go into the home screen again and we double click on that, I think that'll do for the moment, but you can see where we're going, okay? Right, what we want to do now is we can kind of mess around with the sample. We can reverse it. There's all sorts of things we can do with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take it to the end there, okay? And I'm going to reverse it, see what that does. That sounds pretty good. That's all right, actually. It's not too bad. Now, there are a lot of things we can do with this sample before we save it as a sample. And one of the things we can do is we can add an effect. So we've shown how to reverse it. We can actually add an effect to it. So if we go into, I don't know, harmonic, maybe harmonic, let's go, try dynamics, noise gate. There's loads what you can choose here. This is where you can, let's do air diode clip. That looks good. I like that. I like that a lot. Brilliant. Let's double click that, stop that sample. Now from here we can do, again, a lot more if we wanted to. We could warp it, which it increases it to the BPM of your current song. That sounds good. We can go further with the samples. So there's so many different layers of changes we can make. We can change the semitone on it. And we can fine tune it. And we'll leave that as default for the moment, but you get the idea. We can actually change things. We can also look at the envelopes. So we can change sort of envelopes on it. There's a whole raft of things we can actually do with a sample. But once we're finished with it, once we're happy with our end product, let's come out of that. And we've got our layers and we're happy with our layers. We've done what we wanted to do. Let me just go back into here. Let me just change that back to 3. Okay. Okay, let me just move that back here. Move that here. Brilliant. Really happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is save this sample. I'm going to save it as is. Again, there's a whole load of stuff we can do to this. If we want to do more changes to that sample, we can actually do it in the sample editor. But again, we are doing it on 2 different samples here, so we can modify that. And we can modify the other one and just play around with it. And again, so we can modify this. So let's see what that sounds like in here. That's brilliant. Really good. Right, from here, what do we want to do? We want to save it. Let's save this sample. To save it, you've got some buttons up the top. You can put it to key group. You can stem it out. But we're going to click on this little down arrow here. And it's saying A1 test 1 ST1. We'll change that to layer sample. Okay, layer sample 1. We might want to create more. And we'll put do it. Okay, now that's saved. And then you could put a beat to that. However you want to do it, you can slow it down, of course. From here, what we want to do is click on save. And then whilst we've saved it internally as a sample, we haven't saved it to our main area. So we go into Live 3 SATA, go into My Samples, and then just create a folder for it if necessary. But we're just going to save that And that is it. That's how you modify your samples. I hope you find that interesting, this video. It's just a short video on how you can do it. By the way, there are up to 8 layers of samples you can add to it. It's vast amount what you can do with the MPC Live 3. One thing I wanted to show you quickly before I wrap up this video is, be warned on this. If you click on new track and you click on audio and then you load in an audio track, and let's loading something that we had just had a second ago. Let me go into, Live Sata, my samples. Had a bit of a weird thing happening there. Let's go into here. If we load that up, now if we've loaded it as an audio samples, you'll notice it's come up slightly different. So it's actually loaded the sample in without having to modify it. And that's what this does. Just to let you know, this has brought the sample in without its modification. If you go into the drum, if you add new track and you put drum, basically it allows you to do things with it. So I'm just letting you know on that because I fell foul of that. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it and we'll catch you in another one. Take care. See you soon. Bye.